Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Who leads? Is leadership something that is learned, or are you born a leader? It is a age-old question. Theories say that you're born a leader. Either you're born with those traits of being a great communicator, being persuasive and positive, and people are just naturally going to lead or follow you as you lead. However, I believe that this is a trait, and it has been shown that one can actually learn how to lead. Anyone can lead if they possess the simple traits of honesty, enthusiasm, and responsibility for their actions. You can be a leader. Um, you have to be an effective communicator in order to communicate your expectation and your goals, your plans to others. Also, you have to be accountable for your actions. People will look up to you if you show them that you are aware of your shortcomings as well as your what you lead in. Uh, Being optimistic is also a very important trait. Nobody wants to follow the pessimist. So it should always be positive and see the solutions and try to make that the big picture instead of seeing the problem kind of taking over the event. You must also demonstrate integrity. Being truthful is always a very important trait as well. And I go to examples of my kids. I have two boys, one who is 11 and another who is 7. And the 7-year-old is the loudest. And so naturally, you think, maybe he's the leader. He likes to be in charge. However, you see him in big events when he's with like a group in his classroom, and he doesn't want to lead. He wants to be in the background, quiet. Um, so this is something that he would need to learn to kind of adapt into and understand that he has that capability to lead and refine that as well. In this Toastmasters, I have taken a leadership quiz in which it let me know that I have a pace setting leadership style, which is surprising to me. I was thinking more of like a coaching, which is more optimistic and kind of showing people how to do a task. However, I was given pace setting, which is interesting. It says I focus on productivity and high level of performance. I lead by example, which is great. I feel like I do that. In the things that I do, I kind of like to show people how things are done and give them the tools they need to succeed. So that was very interesting. Another high rated area was authoritative, which is motivate by inspiring enthusiasm, clear direction and standards, and kind of sticking to the rules, being very black and white, which I believe I am. I do not see the gray area in things. It is how it is, and there is uniformity. So it was really interesting. It was very an eye opener to see my leadership style, but nevertheless, anyone can lead. I took a class in innovation for my undergraduate degree, and we actually were given a book to read called Everyone Leads. And it was really interesting because it really explains that no matter where you come from, there are people that you just think that they don't have it in them. Like, there's no way that this person with a history or just like the way that their personality is can ever lead. However, it is taught, it could be taught to, you just have to empower these individuals to see that and realize that within them. You have to be proactive and solution focused. It states also that the first law is if we don't believe the messenger, we won't believe the message. So it's just really important as a leader to kind of look in the mirror and to be an example of what others can look up to and follow as well. But nevertheless, I find that Leadership is a key aspect in any job, any career, and to learn, you must practice as well. So, finding the examples in your life and kind of try to demonstrate it as well. Thank you, everyone.
So thank you, Alex, for giving us a speech. She is keeping the momentum up through the pathway, so we want to congratulate her on that because it is much easier to keep that momentum than to pick it back up sometimes, but obviously we understand that things come up. So thank you for keeping that momentum going. Today you talked about leadership styles, you learned about your own, and then you presented what you think a good leader is. The first thing I want to say is that you handled your dog cameo very well. I know that if I had someone putting a dog into my background, it would fluster me, but you seem to play it off very cool. So congratulations on doing that very well. I also wanted to point out that you made very good eye contact during the presentation, though sometimes you did look off to the side, but that's very natural for us to do. One thing that I wanted to know more about is I think we met during the pandemic, so we've only met through a screen. So I don't know if naturally you talk with your hands or if you move around a lot. But if you do, next time incorporate more of that into your speech so that you don't have to feel stilted or that you have to sit in place. I liked how the speech brought in a personal aspect. You mentioned your two sons and how you see their personalities are different. Maybe one of them is more leadership ready than the other one, but you only mentioned the characteristics of one son. So I would have liked to hear about your other son as well as like a compare contrast, just like Nikki said about parallel structures. If you're going to mention both two things, then it's good to mention two things throughout the speech. So having that balance would be good for next time. For some things to focus on for next time, and this has also been told to me, is that the speech didn't have a particularly singular focus. So I think you were trying to inspire us, but if you wanted to inspire us, there could be more inspirational talk. You did mention that one quote from the book, which was really good, but if you wanted to sprinkle them throughout, that would be more inspirational. If it was informational, then it would be a different type of style. So I think that's something that you'll learn as you give speeches, that even though some speeches are, not as interesting or they're more informational, they still should have a purpose at the end. And so I think you can incorporate that into your next speech. And the way you're going, I'm sure will be next meeting, but definitely keeping eye contact with the camera is good. Using hand gestures, if that's your natural speaking style, don't force yourself to do anything that's not natural. And then having a focus or a purpose for the speech would really tie in all those things together. But thank you again for speaking so quickly after your last speech, and we're really excited to see your momentum keep going. So well done. Thank you, Alex.